Welcome to another Ziva Math video. In this video, we're going to use the Pythagorean Theorem to calculate the side lengths of a triangle. The Pythagorean Theorem states that the sum of the squares of the sides of a right triangle is equal to the square of its hypotenuse. The Pythagorean Theorem is expressed using the formula a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where a and b are the length of the sides of the triangle and c is the length of the hypotenuse. So if we have a right triangle and we're labeling those pieces A, B, and C, A and B are the sides of the right triangle, and it doesn't matter whether you label A as the vertical side or the horizontal side. It doesn't matter where you place A and B. They just have to be the sides of that triangle because C has to be the hypotenuse. And because C is the hypotenuse, it's always going to be across from the right angle. It's always going to be that longest side. Let's take a look at our examples. In this example, we want to find the side length in this triangle, the missing side length. And because we have a right triangle, we know we can use a Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. But we need to get these side lengths labeled. One needs to be a, one needs to be b, and one needs to be c. So let's start with the one that we don't know. The one that we don't know is across from the right angle. It's our longest side. It's the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is always c, which means the side lengths that we have, 2 and 5, one is going to need to be A and one is going to need to be B. And it doesn't matter which one is A and which one is B. Now that we have our side lengths labeled, we can plug the values into our formula. We have A squared, A is 2, so we have 2 squared, plus B squared, B was 5, so plus 5 squared equals C squared. 2 squared is 2 times 2, which is 4, plus 5 squared, 5 times 5 is 25, equals c squared. 4 plus 25 is 29 equals c squared. And to solve for c, we're going to have to take the square root. If we take the square root of the right-hand side of our equation, we have to take the square root of the left-hand side of our equation. So the square root of c squared is c. The square root of 29 is 5 and 39 hundredths. So c equals 5 and 39 hundredths. In this example, we have a triangle with side lengths of 7 and 13, and we need to find the missing side length. And because this is a right triangle, we can use Pythagorean theorem and the formula of a squared plus b squared equals c squared to find that missing side length. So the first thing we need to think about doing is getting our sides labeled a, b, and c so we can begin plugging them into the formula. So I'm going to start with the side across from the right angle, the 13. If it's across from the right angle and the longest side length, that is the hypotenuse, and that has to be C. So C is going to equal 13, and then we have the side length of 7, and the side length of 7 can be A or B. It doesn't matter. I'm going to label the missing side length A, which makes the side that is a length of 7 going to be our B. Now that I've got everything labeled, I can go to the formula and begin plugging values in. Well, I have a side length of A. I don't know what it is, so that is going to be my variable A squared. Plus B squared will be a 7, so A squared plus 7 squared equals C squared, and C is 13. So we'll have 13 squared. Now I'm going to do the calculations that I have right now. So A squared plus 7 squared is 49 equals c squared, which is 13 squared, which is 169. Now I can solve this like I would an equation. I need to get a squared by itself, which means I'm going to subtract 49 from both sides, which gives me a squared equals 120. Now to solve for a, I'm going to be taking the square root. If I take the square root of the left-hand side, I have to take the square root of the right-hand side. So the square root of a squared is a, and the square root of 120 is 10 and 95 hundredths. So that missing side length that we labeled a is 10 and 95 hundredths. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to Ziva Math for more videos.